today's show, I'm known as Pokémon Master Coops. Masterful 27 is known as Pokémon Master Mark. Pogo Milo UK is known as Pokémon Master Milo. And Ian Waterfall is known as Pokémon Master Ian, I guess. Welcome to episode 92 of Incensed podcast. I'm going to say it before Ian does. Yes, Ian, we're nearly at episode 100. Oh my God, we're nearly there. That's going to
get old very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Gentlemen, that'll be the only time I'm saying gentlemen tonight. How are we all?
I think we're good.
Excited.
Mm-hmm.
I think would be the word.
Yes. Days took a while coming, hasn't it?
It actually has been, yeah. A very exciting day. We tried to hype it up. It's already in the title. Like, people know what's happening. Every time
it's not a surprise.
We have a guest on and we're like, oh my God, it's such a secret. They've literally clicked on the episode, which it says it on the title.
In big capital letters.
Bro, let's, so we've got a guest on.
But the thing is, boys, the funny thing is people will see the title and then what they'll do is they'll skip past us talking like this at the beginning straight to the guest. So they miss all this out anyway. So it's we draw it on, and it's wasted time. Yeah. Should we jump straight into the introduction now? I think we need to, shouldn't we?
Yeah, let's do it straight in.
Absolutely.
Right, here we go then. So tonight we're excited to be joined by one of the OG YouTube Pokémon Go content creators. She is a fan of cats, evolutions, and the main series games. Loyal to Kanto, our guest is also a TCG enthusiast. And with her travels is a big advocate of bringing local communities together. Please join us by giving a massive incense welcome to the one and only Pokémon MasterHolly in the house.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. What an intro. That's awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. That was so sweet.
What did I say before the show? You've always got to wait for the intro. We hype you guys up every time.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are the hosts. We need to hear your voice first, for sure.
Did a nice one there, Mark. But welcome, Holly. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, finally.
I know. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for reaching out. It's been a long time coming. We started planning this like over a month ago, so I'm excited to be here. I'm sorry if my voice is a little off. I am recovering from COVID. I'm just glad that we're doing the thing. I'm glad to be on the show.
No, for real though, thank you so much. Like I said, we've wanted to sort of have you on for a while, and it's so weird like when you actually see people on camera, especially that you haven't met, and it's so weird for us as well, because obviously we do the podcasts, we individual creators as well, and it's really cool to have people that we watch for years and years and years and years. From when did the game start? 2016. Remind me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's so weird, and then like, you know, when you deep it 6 years later, we create a podcast and we have guests on like you. So from the bottom of my heart, honestly, thank you so much. It does mean the world to us for your time. Yeah, hopefully you get a shiny today. So
I'm excited.
A shiny Alolan Rattata.
Given the current event, that's likely.
Yeah.
Hey, a shiny's a shiny's a shiny, right? We'll take it.
Sparkles are good.
Sparkles win. Yeah.
You got something better, Holly, than the shiny, though, didn't you? Let the listeners into a little secret, a little pre-podcast raid we did. Go on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I just got a 98% IV Guzzlord from you guys. So thank you so much. I named it after the show. It's Incensed, the Guzzlord. So my best IV. Thank you. Incredible.
Change that title.
I had to bring that up, Mark. It was your raid, so.
Yeah. To be honest, like, it's the first time I've turned on the game in a week. I was shocked to know it wasn't Giratina. It's changed over to Guzzlord.
We could always change the name of the podcast to Guzzlords. No, sorry, we're not.
Such a weird name, innit? Guzzlord. I love that.
Imagine if that was its cry.
But anyway, as Coops is guzzlording his beer, it is time, people, for the 92nd time.
Pop your incenses, champions. Let's go.
And remember, if you get anything that you want to shout out about, it can be good, it can be bad, it can be ugly, we don't care. Just make sure you tag us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever your social media of choice is. Shout out to Elon. We're using the hashtag.
Clarify the spelling for me.
Shinies of the Week. That's SHINIESOFTHEWEEK. And speaking of Elon, Incensed Podcast, now verified.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
I see you're wearing blue, Ian.
Exactly. We only had to pay $8.
Yeah, he reached out to us, didn't he, Ian? Said no.
Pay me $8, I'll verify you.
Directly.
Anyway, Milo, over to you for our first section.
And now, children, it's time for Getting to Know You with the Incensed Podcast.
Well, I was going to drop the question of would you pay $8 to get verified on Twitter, but you've already answered that. You've already done that. So thanks for stealing that.
To be fair, it does look very professional. I'll be honest. It does look professional.
Does.
It looks
It's
good.
right.
You know?
Waste
Good
of
investment.
$8, but it does look professional.
No, there are extra perks that you get for actually your $8.
Oh yeah, like what?
You can upload higher quality videos, you reduce ads, there will be longer form tweets coming soon. There's loads in that $8 that you get for being
Nice.
So we
verified
can
blue.
extend our hashtags.
Yes.
We need more letters in them, to be fair.
But we can't extend the poll, it's still only 4 selections.
Oh, get rid of it. I want a refund.
Yeah.
Imagine a Mark's poll with like 25 answers that you can pick.
The thing is though, Coops, he'd actually do it.
Yeah. Fair
He'd be
play.
typing for half the show, but he would actually do it.
Mega poll, mega evolution.
A mega poll.
Anyway, getting back to it. This question popped up actually in one of those random YouTube shorts. It's very random. We've done a couple of random questions, but if you could make anything in the universe 5% bigger, what would you do?
I mean, of course. Okay.
Yeah, go on, Holly. You
Go for it. Anything. Not being specific.
Anything
with
in the universe 5% bigger? Man, that's a
it.
tough one.
Spreaker plush.
Come on,
you've got
gang.
there.
Heads out the gutter. Come on, heads out the gutter.
I know,
We've got
right?
this.
Okay, let's be honest. Everybody in the comments section immediately went to the gutter.
Yeah, they went there.
I actually had those exact words, Coops, before the question on my notes.
Come on. We got this. Team
I
episode
guess-
92.
I would say all of our paychecks. How about that?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Good call.
Well,
Yeah,
5% more
nice.
pay. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I love that.
Without raising the cost of living, just raise our pay, right?
Just raise the pay.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
go to at least verified Twitter.
Yes. Oh, that's true.
account. Everyone verified. Love it.
Yeah. So yeah, more money for everybody.
Milo, I like this question. Holly, I like that answer. Ian, I don't like the fact you've bought a verified. I'm joking.
Hey, I haven't. We collectively have.
5% bigger.
Should we ask your girlfriend, Coops?
No, she'd want it 5% smaller. Jokes. Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to say that portions at a restaurant that you buy. So when you go into a restaurant, I think that the portions should be 5% bigger, because 9 times out of 10, I'm saying it was good. It just wasn't enough. It's very rare you go to a restaurant these days, or you order a drink, a beer, and you think, oh, if only that pint was a bit bigger. So I'm going to say food and beverage, I think, should be what you pay for, sort of going off Holly's pay answer, should be 5% bigger. Give us a little bit more.
Have you ever been to a restaurant in America, Coops?
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
2 things. I've only been here 2 days, so I'll let you know next week.
You won't be saying that next week, mate.
To be fair, I actually haven't yet. But anyway, that's my answer.
I'd love my Incensed to be 5% more effective when I stood still. That might be helpful. But you said bigger, so I should go back to the question as it's bigger. I'm a big sports fan. I love my Leeds United. I'm going to mention them in this podcast, but to go and try and watch them play, it's near on impossible to get tickets without going into hospitality, because everyone gets the tickets very quickly because they're doing okay. I'd love our home ground to be 5% bigger, to give us a little bit more of a chance to get tickets to watch them play. More seats,
So some
Milo.
more seats.
A little bit bigger, which is about over 1,800 seats, to put it into context, which probably wouldn't help in any way, but I like to think that it might give us a little bit more
It
chance.
helps clarify it for me, as I know fuck all about football.
No shit, Milo.
So you guys know the troubles I've been going through just lately with my internet. I wish my bandwidth was 5% bigger. Because it sucks at the moment, and until Sky get their asses into gear, yes, naming and shaming, I am wishing that my bandwidth was 5% bigger.
It's the contract out the window. Thanks, Ian.
Sky, who don't have a blue tick on Twitter either, so sort you out.
They've just pulled out the podcast sponsorship, unfortunately,
So
now.
there's always Virgin Media.
That's true. And this might be a little bit dull because of...
It's you, so we're used to
It's
it.
me.
Yeah, we're used to it.
What was that, Coops? What does he say? Formula One race is 5% longer?
Yeah, I don't know. It was dull. I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
Bigger, not longer. That's the
Jeremy
question.
Clarkson was 5% or some shit like that. Go on, anyway. Go
Shut
on.
the fuck up.
Go on.
Actually talking about Seattle Go Fest and all of the revenue that went into the businesses and stuff on the back of the Go Fest. And then Jamal from the Waste Spotters podcast, a little shout out, kept saying how much he bought shots or I'd say American shooters shots in Seattle. So I would like to increase the size of the shot you get in the UK so that it somewhat matches the American portion, because that was a shock to me.
In the UK, they're measured specifically, aren't they, from the optics?
I know,
whereas in
but
the
I'd
States,
definitely
they're
make it a
not
little
so
bit
much.
bigger. So there's a little bit less of a disparity between the two.
I think American shooters might be double shots, though, or at least a shot and a half. You're talking about the tall ones?
Well, it's just like I was greeted by a lot of tequila, which is not my favourite thing in the world.
It
And
was
when
a
it's
good
like
night. Stop complaining.
It was a lovely night, but tequila it's like, a dog shit on a pie, kind of put a downer on.
Milo, you kept running away, didn't you? Every time Jamal came at you with another shooter, you kept like disappearing, didn't you?
I hide. I was like, no, not more.
Actually,
Don't hand
Jamal
any
said
more
to me,
over.
and this is brilliant, he says, for saying that Milo always talks about how much he drinks, he's never known anybody shy away from
I
alcohol.
don't. I don't talk about how much I drink, though.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, I didn't know you guys went to Seattle Go Fest. I had no idea.
What's funny is actually before recording, listeners, he completely forgot that Ian went to Seattle.
Oh yeah, I did.
You did.
Yeah, good question, bro. I like that. I like that a
I
lot.
liked all the answers. I like the answers.
Oh, thanks, mate. We were kind of on the same alcohol food vibe. I like that.
Yeah.
So in sync. Love you.
Love you too, bro.
Good.
You go from a cup of coffee to a blowing.
Brilliant. Fucking hell. As Coops would say, nice segue. Or you go, nice jingle.
Nice segue.
Nice segue, yeah. So we are very, very lucky to have Holly with us, and we're going to move into the next section, which has got the best jingle as well. It is Grill the Guest. Does it get better?
We say that every time. It's not changing.
Maybe you should make like a sizzly effect for the grilling, right?
2023, maybe.
So there we go. That's the upgrade.
Yeah, Ian will take that on board and he'll go, I'm not changing it. Won't you, Ian? You're like, good idea. Does this with us? Good idea.
You know me too well.
I'll write it
Great
down.
idea.
Hey man, it's all good.
This is the fun bit, Holly, but this section is all about you. We'll give you an array of questions. Who would like to go first?
I'll jump in straight away. Know that you started making content 2017?
Yes.
What was the thing that got you started? What was the motivation? Give us a little bit of a backstory to where you began.
I started playing the game 2016. I started 7/7/2016, so literally the day after it came out. And I was still in college at the time trying to get my degree. So I knew that I wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I was still in school, and I also was severely struggling with like really bad self-esteem issues. So like I just convinced myself like, oh, no one's gonna watch me, I should just like give up. So I didn't go for it. But then after the game started to come out and developing and all this, I started to meet people and I made friends. It snowballed into me having this incredible community. And then finally, when Raids came out in 2017, and I had this community built together that we had been hunting together, not even for shinies, but just like to play the game together and have fun.
Well, back in the day,
Back in the day, yeah. I had this incredible community, so shout out to Philadelphia. You know, a lot of people were new to Pokemon, but I've played all the games. I've played Pokemon since I was like 7 years old constantly. So I knew like all the typings and the weaknesses and everything. So I was constantly teaching everybody in the group like, hey, these are the weaknesses. These are the Pokemon you need to use. And people who couldn't come raiding with me were like, hey, I got to go to work. Can you like write it down so I can know what to use later? And I was like, wait, there's actually a market for this. Like, I'm sure he's not the only one who's going to miss it. Like, I should put this out for everybody. And then that's when my group started saying, like, you know your stuff. Why don't you put this out for people? And I was like, actually, I have had a dream of wanting to be a YouTuber. And they were like, okay, so do it. And I was like, okay. So my first video is at a Tyranitar raid with that group that was pushing me to do it.
Yeah.
And I was scared out of my mind. It's incredible, like my personal growth, because I used to be terrified of people and like, you know, social anxiety and like huge self-esteem issues and all this stuff. Because of that community in Philadelphia, they pushed me out of my comfort zone to like make YouTube videos, which was my dream. And thank God they did, because now I'm here and I love it and I've become a better person. So it was because of raids that I knew I could make an impact on the community, help people, teach people about Pokemon, and do my passion.
That's awesome. Well, the raid and the prior knowledge to obviously what do you take in counter-wise and stuff, because when raids came in, I know that we all had that sort of the experience, shall we say, of seeing people taking Snorlax and Blissey into the raid
Yeah.
game.
The recommended was so broken, wasn't
my
it?
God.
Well, I don't even think we had recommended at that time, right? It was, or was it?
It gave you the most like tanky defensive
Yeah, it was just
mons.
defense
Yeah.
focused. That's right. Oh yeah, it was like Blissey's
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, so we'd all be battling Lapras and Tyranitar. It's like, here, have a Blissey. There you go.
Yeah. Like back in those days, we didn't even have the graphics makers. You know, there wasn't Couple of Gaming or Leak Duck or like Poke Battler or whatever. So like it was seriously word of mouth for like what counters to use, right?
Well, I remember back then the IV calculator on the game would have been the old.
It would have been like,
exceeds my
with the little
calculations.
comments rather
Yeah,
than
so
the
you're
actual.
going into a raid with a 0-1-0 Blissey. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, remember the old IV, the way you used to do IVs? Oh my God, that was insane. Do you remember
The
that?
days
Oh
of the
my
Troll
God.
Hondo. That was amazing.
All we had was what the team leader said. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
this exceeds my
That's right,
calculations,
yeah.
but it didn't even have the numbers.
Yeah, that's
on
what.
it.
Yeah.
So-
Shout out Tyranitar though, great Pokemon, Tyranitar.
And you hit the nail on the head then. People raided because it was raiding, wasn't it? It was social. You know, now we talk about the shiners and all that, but back then there were raids that we generally would still do 20, 30 raids, wouldn't we? Even if there wasn't a shiny available, because it was just fun.
Yeah.
That's it. It was a time where like people weren't even trying to get the 100%. Like most of the players didn't even know what a shiny was. All they knew was these are the group of people that I have met over the past months that I've bonded with, and they're walking to the next raid, so I might as well go. That's all it was.
Yeah. Development of raid trains
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff, the raiding
There were good
communities.
days in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun times.
The game has changed a lot.
yeah.
I want to take you back a little bit before your content because you've actually got quite a good backstory. I know you obviously you were in the military. Tell us a little bit about what took you down that route before I think you went back to school afterwards.
Yeah,
did
you're
you?
right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I wanted to actually, join the military like straight out of high school, but my dad, who was an Army Ranger, growing up, he was always super physically fit. Like he's always working out and he's always like super like stern, super strict, that military mindset. Like, you better like roll your socks, like that kind of tuck your corners in, that kind of thing. So I was raised with that kind of like military mindset of like, get your stuff together, and I always looked up to him. So he was kind of like my role model, but he told me it's rough for women. Like, don't do it. He actually told me not to do it. And so I went to college at first, and then I was like, I'm not really feeling college that much. And I actually had gotten married at that time, and he was active duty in the military. Well, he was a reservist, and he decided to go active duty, which means that he went from like going just one weekend a month to like constantly every day. And so when he was active, I still had that desire to be in the military myself because I wanted to prove to myself that like I could do it, especially after my dad was like, women have it tough in the military stuff. I was like, I can handle it, right?
Yeah.
I'm a guy.
Yeah, you just gotta, I can do that.
It's like, watch me.
Yeah, I was exactly. That's my, and also that ties back with Pokemon because when I was little, my dad was like, "Yeah, you'll get over Pokemon once you grow older." Obviously, I took that as a challenge too. So,
Yeah.
But basically, I wanted to be, I looked up to my dad, and I wanted to prove it not only to myself but everybody who told me that I couldn't do it. I joined, and I went active duty. So me and my husband at the time were both active duty, and I was in for 3 years. I went to Afghanistan for 9 months. It was a great experience. I never had to shoot anybody. My MOS is 25 November, which is a nodal network systems operator maintainer. But basically, it's like I fixed computers, I fixed internet issues. Like if somebody's printer was jammed, I would, that IT techie person.
Tech support.
Yeah. But it was cool because since I was so like what the military calls like high speed, my dad had drilled it into my head to be like physically fit. Like you better take care of your body, right? Which is what I still do. And so I had like the top physical training score. Like I excelled like even on like the men's scale. So like they assigned me to a 1-star general as his personal tech support because they could tell that like you don't need to be like looked after, like you're good, like we'll just give you to the general. So I flew around in Black Hawk helicopters like with this general, went to different cities, like we went to Kandahar and all these places. So it was a great experience. But ultimately my dad was right. The military is not friendly to women. It's sad because like they have a lot of programs in place. Like there's this one called SHARP, which is like sexual harassment, assault, rape and stuff. Like it's like a class that they teach the soldiers constantly, like how to treat women. It's like, hey, don't harass women. But guess what? It still happens. So unfortunately, I ran into that almost every single day that I was in the military. So by the end of the 3 years, I was like, I'm out. Like, I can't handle this. So I decided to go back to college, and I used my GI Bill to finish my degree, which I got in psychology.
Oh, brilliant.
And I ended up divorcing that guy, by the way. He's
Just get that one in.
yeah, he sucked.
So wait, so how old were you then when you got married? I'm guessing this is all from like England. I'm going 19, 20, 21, but maybe unless I've got that completely
No, you're
wrong.
right. I got married. We were high school sweethearts. We started dating in high school.
I knew you were going to say that. I thought so. Yeah.
I got married at 19. He was 20. We were married for 5 years. So divorced at like 24.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm 32 now.
Wow, that is really that is super interesting. Ian, great question. I had no idea. That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that stuff about me.
Yeah.
So thanks for asking.
I remember you did talk about it in some of your videos, because I know you did a series about mental health as well, which I thought was brilliant.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like being deployed, my heart goes out to all the service members out there, because deployments are no freaking joke. I don't know how women handle it, because like I was the only female in an all male infantry unit, because remember how I told you guys I scored really high on the PT scale, so high that I was on the male scale?
Yes.
So they were like, oh, look at her, like let's put her in an infantry unit. So I was the only Signal Corps support for this all male unit. I was the only woman, and it was like the first ever woman. How do you think that went? It didn't go well. They didn't know how to treat a woman. So I was completely isolated the entire deployment. I had no one to talk to, and it was awful. Like I definitely had bouts of, like suicide and stuff like that. So mental health is extremely important. You got to take care of yourself.
Absolutely. 100%. I feel like it's so awful, because like, and even I fall into this trap as well, because obviously in this Pokemon Go community or Pokemon Go world or Pokemon Go life, whatever you want to call it, I feel like when you see a YouTuber or a streamer or somebody that creates content, it's really funny. You just think that that's like all they have.
Right.
Like, it's just like you just fall into this trap of like, oh, they just play Pokemon Go all day. Yeah, that's what they do, and it's crazy to think that you have that incredible past and that backstory. Even for someone like me, I was a dancer, singer, and an actor for 10 years. But if you'd see me in my videos, you'd go, this lunatic just running about, vlogging, catching Pidgeys. But I fall into that trap. So thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's called Sonder. Sonder is like the fact that everybody in the world is like a 3-dimensional human who has a deep story just like everyone else. But our human brain can't conceptualize that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And sad, but incredible at the same time, but it's just cool because we all have those unique stories, every single person.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you got rid of the guy who sucked. That's a lesson to you all. If you're listening out there, do not settle for anyone.
That's right.
You'll find someone incredible. I mean, look at me and Ian now, we're thriving.
You might be, mate.
No, but for real, don't settle. I'd say that to anyone.
Thanks, Ian, for that, because whoever asks the next question it's gonna sound really fucking awful compared to that one. So,
God, just like, what's your favourite Pokemon?
I was just gonna say that. No.
Sorry.
Ian. Holly, I've been very fortunate to meet you. Certainly when we were out in Munich, very briefly, me and Ian were there. When you're doing live events are great.
Dortmund, yeah.
It was Dortmund, Dortmund, yeah.
Yeah.
You've done live events, you've taken your break. I think that's really important. And sometimes you can get into that cycle where you go, it's really quite unhealthy if you carry on doing it without pausing. But with Holly, 23 coming around the corner, what's your hopes with the game? What do you want to do next year with it? And are you looking beyond getting back into YouTube now, into sort of that creation content trail journey again? Are you thinking events next year?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I've got hopes for 2023. Honestly, anything can be better than this year. This year was pretty nuts with COVID and everything. And I didn't even get to go to GoFest this past year as well, because my cat is sick. So I've been taking care of her. So I hope things get better there. But she's got diabetes.
Fingers crossed.
Thanks.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, you said you're giving like 2 shots a day.
2 insulin shots a day. Yeah, it's rough. I'm going to start like getting my YouTube grind and my Twitch grind on streaming back up to where it was, because I took a huge break this year in 2022, and I want to get back to like solidly pumping out content across both platforms. But then in terms of hopes for new things, I definitely want to try to do more like in-person events. That's honestly the thing that like got me into making content. Like I told you guys, it was the Tyranitar raid. And that sense of community, I think, is something something that a lot of people just are missing out on, because there's so many players who are brand new that started in 2020, 2021, 2022, and they just have no idea what we're trying to like convey, right? Like they have no idea what they missed.
Yeah. They picked up a very different game.
Exactly. So the only way to get that point across is by showing people like, hey, look, it's not just talk. There really is a difference between sitting at home and raiding and like being in a group of humans and like sharing smiles and laughter and like, hey, look at this, Ivy. Like it's undescribable. It's only something that you can experience. You know, it's like trying a new food, right? Like I could tell you how a new food tastes, but until you put it in your mouth and taste it, what does that mean? Nothing to you.
Yes, you need to experience it.
You have to experience it. Yeah.
Yeah. As we were saying that after the Go Fest as well, you can't really describe a live event until you actually go there and experience it yourself. It's such a whirlwind. It's amazing.
That's exactly it. So my hope is to lead by example by getting back out to events, getting back out to community days, getting out to Safari Zones, Go Fest, those kind of things, because I think the more that people lead by example, like all of us, the more other people will go, oh, okay, like that's not so bad. Like I can do that. Because you can sit here and tell people to like get off their butt and do it all day, but like unless you lead by example, they're not going to do it. And I hope Campfire comes out to everybody, and I hope that they make it so that like when you light a flare, it doesn't just alert the people on your friends list. I hope it notifies everybody within like a certain radius that's like public, because I think what they're doing right now is testing to see if it even works at all. But my hope is that after this test beta phase or whatever, that they make it so that public trainers in your vicinity will be like, somebody's trying to raid over here. Like, we should go over there.
I actually think that's a thing now, because I saw a flare for somebody that isn't on my friends list just the other day.
Perfect.
So I think that might be a thing now. Yeah.
Great. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just hope they flesh out, you know, more ways for people who aren't on each other's friends list to meet.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
I know what we said earlier. It always does shock me how much like the OG players, what we've been through. Like I know we mentioned the like how to do the IV calculation when the game first came out. You used to have to sit there for hours and hours, and it's so funny that people now can just type in 4-star.
Yeah,
just it's so, like it's so crazy to me. You go out on a grind, you catch 400-500 Pokemon, and back in the day, you used to have to click like 10 buttons to IV check that Pokemon,
and then remember what each phrase meant. Yeah,
bro, and then it was all different for different teams. And yeah, sorry, I just had to have a moment there of how far the game's come, but still got a lot further to go as well. Now, Pokemon Master Holly, if it's okay with you, I want to talk about OnlyFans.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
I hope you don't mind. Earlier, I had a little look. I went onto your page, and I was just having a little look because I'm super interested. You know, from going from the Pokemon Go into the OF. I think that's you say OF, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on the slang. I'm on the slang. And I was having a look, and I sort of I didn't realize that you can actually look at the page without actually having an account, which I thought was pretty dope. I didn't know you could actually do that. And I scrolled back down, and some of your posts have got 300 likes, and I was like, wow, this girl is killing it. That's insane. So that's amazing. So talk to me about the transition from going into that. You know, were you worried for people judging you? Were you worried that it might not work? Were you what was your thought process from doing the Pokemon full time to being you know what, I'm gonna have a little side hustle here, and I'm gonna start an OF account? Talk to me about that.
So 2020 was an insane year for everyone globally. Obviously, that was the beginning of the lockdown pandemic with COVID. The majority of my channel pre-pandemic was focused on being with the community, raiding with the community, going to meetups, hosting meetups, focusing on all the players around me, almost more than me itself. And so when the lockdown happened, I basically had to completely reconfigure the way that I do my content. Well, number one, I couldn't go out and I couldn't host meetups and I couldn't meet people at raids anymore. So it was well, what am I going to do? Yeah. And I couldn't travel. So I was well, no one wants to just watch me sit at my house and talk, ew. So, later, I found out that people do just want to watch me sit at my house and talk, because then I started Twitch, and Twitch led me into streaming at home. I actually had to do Twitch because at that time when lockdown happened, my YouTube channel was actually hacked.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Gorgeous. Yes, you're right.
So I was actually completely unable to get content out on YouTube. I could upload, but YouTube made all my videos private, and I was shadow banned, like, because it was under investigation. So I was making $0 from YouTube, and I had zero discoverability. So I was like, what's the point in even uploading anything? So I just basically completely front loaded Twitch. And then at that point in lockdown in like March and April, OnlyFans had like exploded in discoverability because all these celebrities started doing it, like Bella Thorne, Tana Mojo, like Cardi B, like huge celebrities. So everybody was talking about it. So since I was streaming on Twitch, a lot of people came through in my comment section and were like, Holly, are you going to do OnlyFans? Because it was trending on Twitter like every day. It was like the hottest topic was OnlyFans. People were constantly bombarding me in the chat like, hey, can we have it? Can we have it? And eventually I just kind of like broke down. I was like, fine, I'll do it. I'm fine. Y'all keep asking. Like, all right, do it. And not only that, but like it was multiple things at once. So it was kind of like a snowball. It was like people asking and constantly seeing it trending on Twitter. And it was the fact that my YouTube channel was still hacked. So I wasn't making money. So I was hurting for money. On top of that, the previous year in 2019, I had did a Team GO-Rocket cosplay, and it wasn't even sexy. Like it was a full, like the only skin that I was showing was my face, my hands, and like a little sliver of
I remember the photo. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a full-on like turtleneck long sleeve with a decent sized skirt, not a mini skirt, and people lost their freaking minds.
Social media is so
Social
bad.
media. I don't even know.
This is what I said to you about the thing. It's like, oh my god, like Holly's in a latex sexy. That's what I'm saying. They just think that we just play Pokemon Go. That we have no.
It was quite. It was an accurate.
It wasn't even
grunt,
latex.
wasn't
like
it?
it was a 1-for-1 what she actually looks like in the game.
Yeah.
Like it looks like the grunt. Okay. And so, but people just couldn't wrap their minds around it because what happened was I uploaded those pictures onto my Patreon page for Halloween. It was a Halloween costume, and I think what happened is the people who were on my Patreon were like, oh my god, Holly's uploading sexy pictures, and then the people who weren't on my Patreon heard that and was like, oh, Holly's uploading sexy pictures.
It became like whispers.
It's like a snowball, yeah.
But they didn't see it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it like spiraled out of control into this like, but you know the game of telephone where like they whisper and then like by the time it gets to the next person, it's messed up. So like it spiraled out of control into like Holly's making porn, and I was like, no, I'm not. So
it's amazing how quickly
it quickly caught fire in all the wrong ways. That was Halloween 2019. So it like spiraled out of control until eventually March 2020, like I got it in my head like about OnlyFans, and then it wasn't until October of 2020 for my birthday in October that I was like, we're doing it. And I did. And honestly, I'm glad that I did it because it gave me financial stability. And something that I didn't realize that I was missing was freedom of expression and creativity. Because under Niantic, somebody that works with the Pokemon company or Niantic, you have to be family friendly. You can't really like cuss, really. They frown on that. You definitely can't be sexy. So I couldn't be myself because I like to be expressive. I like to dress the way I want to dress. I like to be openly sexual if I feel like it.
What are you going to say? I like swearing and I like being sexual. So that's me done.
Exactly. And if that's who you are, then wouldn't it be stifling to try to cover that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Well, we had the same problem, Holly, when we set our OnlyFans up. The four of us, we penciled it in. We saw your hot tub streams, and we were going, right, we're going to do a bit of that, didn't we, boys?
We actually said we were going to do a hot tub.
We did say we were going to do a
it for like
hot
2 years.
The four of us were determined, weren't we, to do it? Coops goes.
The trouble is, none of us dare venture to Croydon.
See, this is the problem, Holly. I actually have a hot tub.
Yes.
My family have a hot tub, but I live in a bit of a dodgy area in South London, so the boys refuse to sort of come down to my area in case they say, oh my god, I'm going to get killed. They're not going to get killed. They're going to be fine.
Oh,
but
come
that's
on,
kind
guys.
of like, yeah, exactly. See, I know that hot tub trend was about a year ago now, wasn't it? That was a thing.
It's still popping on Twitch though. There's a whole category for that.
Boys.
Oh, yeah, I
there's
remember they added a category, didn't
There
they?
is a category waiting for us. But Holly, it's funny that you said that you had all these people coming into the chat being like, Holly, when you dropping the OF, when you dropping the OF, when you dropping the OF? Because I feel like when people start an OF, unless I've got this completely wrong, it's a little bit like when I meet someone or I work with someone and I'm like, damn, bro, like you are beautiful. Or I see a girl and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, babe, like you are stunning. Like, and we normally say like, you should go into modeling or why aren't you a model? That's kind of like what we normally say. And I was wondering if it's like that, but the other way around, like I find you really hot, like you should start an OF. Is that kind of what the chat was saying, or did they just want to see a different side of you? Like where was your audience coming from?
Honestly, that's a good question.
Do you know what I mean though? Like,
was it the cosplay? Maybe it was, I don't know, the cosplay.
I think it was the cosplay. I feel like because of that Team Rocket cosplay, people thought that I had this side of me that like I wasn't showing. So they kind of wanted to like let it out. I mean, they were right. I was definitely covering that side of myself. I think non-YouTube Pokemon Master Holly definitely has a more spicy side. It doesn't quite fit with Pokemon Go that much.
Yeah, there's only so much you can actually do, isn't there, really?
Exactly. And I mean, also it's YouTube. But yeah, I think if you boil it all down, I think people just like to see girls get naked. That's all it is.
we can't argue
that's
that.
all it is.
That's what OnlyFans. That's when you say OnlyFans. That's where it went, didn't it? It was originally set up to be like a sort of equivalent.
It was
of Patreon,
like a Patreon
wasn't
type
it? It was
thing.
something
Yeah, it was
like that.
Yeah.
And then it's just been taken down the porn route. Basically, that's where it went.
Because they were a bit more lax than Patreon, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, like there's still a lot of girls on OnlyFans who don't do porn and stuff. And I actually don't have any porn on my OnlyFans. I haven't done a single porn thing. And to be perfectly clear, all of my content like is either lingerie or bikini. So I've never showed naughty bits at all. Zero.
So Holly, it's funny when I was on the page earlier, I did laugh at your description. It really made me chuckle. I thought I've got to bring it up to her when you said the no pussy. It really made me laugh. I was like,
but that's the stigma around OnlyFans nowadays.
Yeah,
you actually have to outline.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. Don't come in for that sort of thing.
Well, so because if they're giving you donating every month, you need to just lay out the law, don't you? I'm not going to be showing you this shit.
Yeah, it says it right at the top under my thing, and yet I still get DMs from people who are like, "Hey, what do I got to do to get the nudes?" It's like there are no nudes.
Yeah, nothing, literally nothing.
Yeah, but you know they're just horny. They don't have time to read. They just want to fap. So
the blood's in the wrong area.
Yeah.
So Holly, my last question, if you don't mind. Sorry, I know I've done like a question 1 ABC type thing. Let's say, have you had any sort of negativity from starting an OnlyFans, if that makes sense? So I don't know the word bad experience because like you said earlier, you said you're so glad you did it and you know it's given you financial stability and you've had that side of you open up and you love that people have seen that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's kind of like that game of telephone where like it's word of mouth. Whatever I say, at a certain point, like people don't even care anymore. They'd much rather listen to Karen than me. And you got to think about how connected the Pokemon Go community is, especially through raid groups. When word got out that I was doing OnlyFans, because of the stigma of porn on OnlyFans, people immediately thought like, oh, Holly's doing porn. She's one for the streets now. Like, let her go.
For the streets.
Yeah. And literally people would go onto my Instagram and comment like, oh, I used to support you, but now that you're doing porn, like I wish I could take all my money back. People used to come onto my YouTube videos, like literally any of my social media platforms. It was like mostly women who would like come through and be like, you're a whore, you know, you're a bitch, blah, blah, blah. Because like I used to support you. You're supposed to represent women, all this stuff. And it's like, I'm not even doing porn. I'm doing nothing more than what you would see in a Victoria's Secret magazine. I'm literally like what you see at a beach, you know,
like
or a bikini.
So if you took 5 seconds to actually look at my sodding page, you'd see there's nothing explicit there.
Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? People are very judgmental and without any foundation a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You know, like more like that, like you said, that more that mother Karen figure. That would be like, oh my God, my kids watch you and now you're basically letting them know that it's okay to go into porn. Was it kind of coming from that element? Obviously, at that time when they wrote that, they'd heard the Chinese whispers and they had absolutely no idea that it wasn't porn at all.
For sure. I mean, there's 2 aspects of it. Like, I would say for sure it's the like parents of Pokemon Go who like have like smaller kids that are like, you know, younger than 10 and they're like, oh, you're supposed to be like a role model for my kid. You know, that's such a minority, and I tried to drill that into people's heads. First of all, like, it's not my job to parent your children. You're supposed to be parenting your children. So if they're watching my content, you're supposed to watch it first or watch it with them, right? Second of all, my audience, if I look at my YouTube analytics, the majority, like 99% is adults and 85% is ages 26 through 46. It's not even like young people. It's mid-30s people like me. I'm 32. So that's the audience that I'm going to cater to, because if I don't cater to my audience, especially catering to what I want to do personally for my life and my channel, then I'm not being true to myself. I can't stand the people who are like, oh, Pokemon's for children. Last time I checked, it's for everyone, including myself. No, I think it's ridiculous that people tried to like force me and suppress me into a little PG box when I'm a 3D dynamic human who has thoughts and hopes and dreams and desires.
Yeah. Listen, I appreciate you because I feel like, you know, as soon as, especially now in the world. As soon as you mention the word porn or OnlyFans, people get their back up and people get really uncomfortable. So appreciate you. I understand it, especially when you do, even me, when I think of OF, I do think of that side of it. And like you said, you don't do that side at all. Your side couldn't be more the opposite to that. Like you said, if I was walking down a beach in Spain, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not just those like overprotective women. There's also an unfortunate huge amount of men who are like, oh, like this makes me uncomfortable. How dare you make me horny? You know, like they're seriously like, I mean, this is like that, I hate to use the word, the incel thing. They don't want to be virgins, but they are. And like they're mad at women for being sexy because it makes them frustrated. And so they take their anger out on women that they get frustrated from, which is me. And it's not fair to me, but I've just come to accept that it's the way of the world and it's the nature of the business that I can't make everybody happy.
Coming on from what Coop said, do you think now that time's passed, you probably got better at just filtering away from it all now and like just switching off?
I used to like privately DM people and be like, hey, like it's not actually porn, blah, blah, blah. But over time, what I noticed was, especially with the guys, when I would try to explain that, they would take it as a way to continue to talk to me and like troll me and like deliberately drag it out. And then when I wouldn't give them what they want, which is attention, they would completely like badmouth me on social media and be like, she said this, which was always a lie. So now what I do is like block. Like you get no strikes. It's like if you're on my page and you leave a mean comment, you're blocked.
Yeah, you can't take shit.
Yeah. Zero tolerance now.
Go poker AK on them.
Yeah.
I mean, no one in the world should ever have to put up with other people that make you feel bad.
Yeah.
Period.
I hear that.
Sort of getting going with OnlyFans, was there a certain sense of trepidation with it? Like, were you nervous to get going on it?
I knew that there was going to be a backlash because I always get backlash. Like even when I started my YouTube channel, like just doing that by itself, I can remember like during the first year of my YouTube channel in 2017, the content was harmless as hell, but the comments below were just, she's a whore, she's a bitch, she's in it for clout, blah, blah, blah. So I knew it was just going to be that all over again. That's all people ever say on my stuff unless I ban them, right? Charming, right? So I don't know why that is, but you know, I just kind of come to accept that that's what happens. So I fully expected that. And I was right. I didn't expect the magnitude of that, but it did happen. But yeah, I was nervous about that. And also I was nervous about what the other YouTubers were going to think because, you know, I didn't want that to affect my ability to collab with them. Like I said, like in order to be sponsored by Niantic, you have to be family friendly, right? So I wasn't sure if they were still going to be like willing to work with me.
Yeah.
But everything ended up being okay. And like the people who no longer want to work with me and like the fans who no longer want to watch me, they weren't real fans of me anyway. They were fans of a false narrative of me. So that they made up in their head. You just kind of got to rip the Band-Aid off because it's all about growth. When you try new things, not only do you end up learning about yourself, but you learn about what really matters to you. And it kind of shows you like who's actually there for you and who's not.
Yeah.
It's kind of like turning the flashlight on and the cockroaches scatter. So it's scary, but I would say go for it. You guys can do it. I want to see it.
Come on, get in your Speedos.
Have the Speedos and body armor for Croydon.
Let's go. Hey, there's a market, man.
100%.
We should do a collab.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
I was going to say, Holly, to be fair, right now, I'm only like 2 hours north of you in America. Let's do our first collab. Let's get it done. Let's do it.
We could do it.
With the matching
Yeah.
Snorlaxes. Let's get it. Let's get it, baby.
I'm excited. I'm totally open to the idea of collabing for OnlyFans, but I haven't done it really because of the pandemic. I haven't really like gone to meet up with people since lockdown, honestly. Like I said, I haven't even gone to GoFest, but if we meet up next GoFest in 2023, we should plan for a little like after party filming for our OnlyFans pages.
Let's get it. We normally say verbal contract. Lock it in.
Okay, so Holly, you like your ink.
Oh yeah, I love tattoos.
What was your first tattoo? What kind of got you addicted to tattoos, and are you planning on any more sort of ink in the future?
Yeah, I love tattoos. I think tattoos are super sexy. I love art. I love painting. I love all forms of art, including video. And I wanted to have like art like on my body. This one right here, this Pokeball, it's pixelated. That was my first one. When I joined the army, I was like, you know, I had it in my head like, oh, everybody thinks I'm just a cute little girl. Like I need to just have like a little bit of badass on me, right? So I got this while I was in the army. After that, I started formulating what I wanted to do for my sleeve because I knew I wanted a sleeve. You know, after I got home from my deployment in 2013, that's when I really decided to full send the sleeve and I started getting all of these pieces done. It took over a year to do. I didn't get the hand piece done until, I guess it was last year. Just last year I got the hand done, which is a master ball for me.
Nice.
Thanks. But yeah, all the Pokemon on my sleeve are my original team from Red and Blue version. Of course, I didn't get Shiny Gyarados until Gold and Silver at, Lake of Rage, but like one of my favorite shinies is this Red Gyarados. It's actually an Arcanine. There's a Pidgeot. There is a Raichu. Ivysaur. I like Ivysaur the best out of Bulbasaur and Venusaur, so that's why Ivysaur. And Gyarados, and then Gengar right here.
Cool, Gengar.
So that's my balanced team of 6. Then the Master Ball, because I'm Pokemon Master Holly. I've also got a Flareon tattoo on my thigh, because that's my favorite Pokemon is Flareon. And then I've got 2 tattoos on my ankles, one that like represents my mom and one that represents my dad. It's an anchor and a horse or stallion. They have like little cute nicknames for me that coincide with that. Obviously, Pokemon means a lot to me, and it's been there for me in some of my darkest times. Like, I didn't have the most cheerful childhood. Like, my parents got divorced, and I was heavily bullied in school, and I definitely had a rough time with my siblings. They picked on me and stuff too. So like, I would just kind of like retreat and hide under my bed and play my Game Boy. So Pokemon, it kind of like in a way saved me from like having a really depressed childhood. So I brought that with me. And then when I was on deployment, isolated and depressed during deployment, I brought my Game Boy with me. So whenever I could, I would just retreat back to my little, bunker in my little cot, and I would play Pokemon, and that would kind of keep me distracted and grounded, because you gotta admit, Pokemon's a little bit of an escape mechanism. Pokemon allows me to forget that life is awful sometimes and just refocus. So when I had the suicide attempt, I was kind of just like, I need to tattoo something on my body to remind me that there's more to life than that negativity. I gotta remember that there are good things. And for me, the good things are Pokemon and the people like you guys that have come into my life because of Pokemon. So I decided to dedicate this whole sleeve to reminding myself to always remember your life is going to have ups and downs. There are going to be dark times, but there's always things that you can fall back on that make you happy.
That's really great. And I've got one quick question before I hand over to Mark for his last couple. You've recently, you've moved from LA over to the Lone Star State, Texas. Is that for family reasons, or what kind of sparked the move? Was it just a new location, new start, or was there something deeper there?
Yeah, so my mom is currently living in Dallas. I love my mom to death. She's definitely like my rock, and I play Pokemon Go with her. We've actually played almost every single community day since I moved to Texas together over the past couple of months, so we just love each other. We're so deep. She's my best friend, basically. But I picked Austin because when I was in the military, I was stationed at Fort Hood, Texas, about an hour and a half north of Austin, and during the weekends when I was stationed there for 3 years, but I lived there for 4 years, I would come down to Austin to party on the weekends. Pokemon Go wasn't even out at that time, and I had already fallen in love with Austin. So when I noticed that California's like prices of living were just like ridiculously high, I was like, I want to be closer to my mom. She means everything to me. I miss her so much. And, because my cat is sick, I can't really travel. So why not move to Austin, because I love it there anyway, and I get to be closer to my mom. Turned out to be a great decision.
Oh, good question, Ian.
I thought I'd set you up for your question.
Right, let me get the scene. Let me set a scene. So we're into the next year of Pokemon Go. Just started some of your new project work, Holly. You're pretty happy with it. Pokemon Go's finally doing its live events, and you're there, and you go, I want to plan a good day out. It's going to be fun. We're going to get back in the flesh, meet people. So it's going well. You've got some shinies. Nice. Johnny Flarion's been releasing Pokemon Go as well, so you can catch it in the wild like that. How good would that be? Oh, Wild Evolution. Nice. Oh, well, there's Nick as well. He's
That'd
loving it. It would be amazing.
Love
that. To the next stage of the night. The evenings come round. You're just buzzing off it. You go, I could go home and edit my vlog, as Coops would call it, and post it out there. But you think, I don't want to tear myself away from this. I'm enjoying it a bit too much. So the evening rolls into the night. But something's missing. You need another shot of energy to get it going. And this could be like a wingman or a wingwoman. But the problem is, Holly, it has to be a Pokemon. I think I know the answer, and I'm probably already ruined this, but who would your Pokemon wingman or woman be, and why?
Okay, so this is a great question. Luckily, I listened to the show, so I know you guys asked this to everybody. So I've had time to think about it. Honestly, for my answer, it's going to be Mewtwo. And the reason why is because Mewtwo can kind of like mind read a little bit, and he can deduce like what are their true intentions. Like, is it really going to be a one night stand, or are they going to be around because they actually care? That's what I need Mewtwo for.
Smart. Right.
And is that Mewtwo with Side Strike or Confusion?
Mewtwo.
That's his community day. Mewtwo with Frenzy Block.
Mewtwo is his Frenzy Block.
Definitely psychic, I'd say. Because he's going to read their mind.
So thank you, Holly. We don't know what Coops is going to be up to over the next few days, let loose in America. But one thing he won't be doing is chasing some tail. Ian, over to you.
Chasing the tail, chasing the tail. Tail to chase, it's chasing the tail.
Okay, so Chasing the Tail. Holly, we've got our first game. Chasing the Tail is a very simple game where you chase the tail of the Pokemon names. So we will start in the order of, myself, you, Holly, then Coops, Milo, then Mark. And I will start with the name of a Pokemon. For example, Mewtwo. The last letter of Mewtwo is O, so you need to then pick a Pokemon that starts with the letter O. No pausing, no hesitations, no repeats. Otherwise, you will hear this and you're out. I can't even say last man standing now. Last person standing.
Last creator standing.
Last creator standing.
Yeah, I like that, Milo. Very good.
Can you do Last Master standing?
Last master standing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we had this game, actually.
Been over a month, hasn't it? It's been about 5 weeks.
Something like that. Yeah.
So, if we're ready, we will start with Munchlax.
Xatu.
Ursaring.
Geodude.
Ekans.
Sneasel.
Lightbird.
Diggersby.
Yanma.
Apom.
Mewtwo.
Onyx.
Xerneas.
Skorupi.
Ivysaur.
Roserade.
Execute.
Eludicolo.
He said Eludicolo.
Eludicolo. Is that Gen?
That's a new Pokemon.
That's Gen 9.
That's Gen 9, that's Gen 10.
God damn it, I really wanted to win that one. It's definitely...
That was a good round.
one, yeah.
That's like the
That was
longest
a good-
round we've actually had.
That was huge.
And lots of mons that we've not used before.
Your next Mon Pokemon Master Milo is Ludicolo.
I'm a star.
Routes.
Cyndaquil. No, fuck. Ah!
That, I get that because the sound of an S.
yeah.
The sound of S on C. Wow. Close.
Nice one, Mark.
Yeah. You got the sound though, yeah.
Okay, so Holly, your Pokemon is... We're going to go Gen 9. Fido.
Fido. Helioptile.
Esper.
I'm out.
Oh, the final. It's Holly versus Milo.
Oh,
Ian,
man.
you with your fucking other generations that aren't in Pokemon
Yeah,
Go.
that threw me for a loop. I was
It's
like,
not
how
even
do you
out
spell
yet,
that?
but it's there. It's been
He's
released.
done it in every single game.
We need to start doing that. It's not fun when you do that.
I didn't do it to you this time.
It's tough.
The final.
Oh, so I start this, don't I? Pikachu.
Umbreon.
Nincada.
Altaria.
Axew.
Starts with a W. Whismer.
Oh.
Riolu.
Ends with a U.
Community day.
I don't know. Brain cramp. I don't.
Ursaring.
I don't know. But we said Ursaring
No,
already.
Ursaluna. I was
sorry.
thinking Ursaluna.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ursaluna.
The user tough.
Yeah. See, that's a Gen 9. Well, I guess
It's Hisuian, isn't it?
Hisui. Yeah.
That's no Gen.
Holly, I was
Same.
really rooting for you.
I
God
know.
damn it.
GG's
I think
though.
we all were,
GG.
Holly.
Yeah, that was good. Good match though. We went hard.
Hey, yeah, that was a solid game of Chasing the Tail. Nice
And
one.
honestly, that's going to go down in history. That first round, Holly, genuinely, that's the longest we've gone throughout the whole existence
so.
of the game.
Yeah.
That's no
Yeah.
cap.
Yeah.
We're in the zone. Let's go.
Well, congrats, Milo.
Sorry, boys. Sorry, Holly.
Hey, GG's,
man.
GG's.
I was the boring bastard beforehand, so.
Correct. That is exactly what you are.
I was gonna say, where's the sound effect?
Now, guys, obviously at the moment in the game, we're having, I would probably say, the most incredible event ever. Probably the best one that Niantic has ever done.
Probably is hitting you, isn't it?
To be fair, it's my third. We are now on the, I would say 2022, but I think this is the first ever time they've hosted an event called the Greedy Gluttons event. I haven't played it at all. I do know that they've released shiny Munchlax, which is pretty cool, but unfortunately only from eggs. So I'm going to pass the baton over to Holly and you three gentlemen. How is the event? How are the Rattatas? And how is nothing, really?
I mean, I haven't really been out too much because I have been recovering from COVID, but I do know that the egg pool for Munchlax, which is 7 kilometers, is actually pretty good. It's only 3 Pokemon, and so your odds of getting shiny Munchlax are actually pretty good because it's, however, for the rest of the event, it's not really that exciting other than the Rocket Takeover.
Which we're waiting to happen.
Yep. Starts on Monday.
It's unfortunate the Rocket Takeover is after Community Day too, because I know a lot of people have Shadow Teddy Ursas that they want to TM, but that's okay. They can just get a charge TM and give it later.
Elite TM and all that, I guess. But as Coop said, it's an amazing event with a huge amount of sarcasm. Just...
There's no sarcasm.
I know you
Coop
too well,
sarcastic.
Okay.
Who'd have thought it? Genuinely, as I said to somebody, I was like, the only thing that I'm interested in this event is trying to catch tiny Rattatas for the medal. And even they, with a Alolan Rattata spawning, it's not Kanto Rattata, they have a stupidly low percentage of being tiny enough to count to the medal. So it's kind of passive. It's like a passive event. Sit back and chill. If I hatch a shiny Munchlax, I hatch a shiny Munchlax. But it's a good egg pool, as you said, Holly. 3 Mons, all can be shiny. Cherubi's quite a rare shiny.
And honestly, to me, it makes sense because we just got through October, which was such a heavy month of events and shiny hunting and raiding. We went crazy on Giratinas. I'm sure everybody went crazy trying to hatch Noibats. So I think Niantic is trying not to exhaust us. I think it's deliberate.
More chilled event and then wait for the Rocket event.
I think you're right, and I'm just going to echo what the both of you have said. It's the only thing within this event, the shiny Munchlax, and that is kind of the only focus anyone can really have on it. Now, a lot of people have complained,
oh, Niantic launched another egg lot shiny what?
It had to be because Munchlax has always been in eggs. It's kind of a bit of a dead argument because it had to be in an egg. But yeah, the event sucks really, other than the shiny Munchlax chase.
At least Snorlax is around.
Yes.
In the wild
spawning.
somewhat.
Yeah.
And it's not stupidly rare. It's actually quite common.
I was just about to say, I thought Snorlax was as just as rare as Duskull wearing a bloody orange flower hat, mate. I've only seen one in the last couple of days.
Really?
Well, to be fair, I only play it at lunchtime, so that might be why I'm hardly seeing it. Ian's absolutely right, and I don't think there's any shade on the Munchlax entry to the game. You know, I thought this would have been a lovely opportunity to drop Gulpin in the wild as shiny. This event lends itself to Gulpin. And I think, Ian, you are right. We did sort of, I know you said, I know we all were thinking shiny Munchlax. Munchlax is great, isn't it? Let's get
it's overdue. It is
shiny.
Overdue. Yeah.
Overdue. Yeah, I do have to apologise. You know, I'm going to get the camera out. I'm going to film this event. I kind of, after day one, said, well, that's good. I won't be filming any more of this event now. I'll see you at Teddy Ursa Comms Day, everybody.
That's me done.
I was watching the spawns as I was walking around and went, oh my God, Pelipper. Oh my God, Racket. Oh my God.
You need XL.
But hey, it's October's been pretty good, and I think you're absolutely right, Holly, and I think we've all been thinking. We said November will be a grower, I think. I think it will get better, and I think this event kind of just calms it down a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Because you know they're going to go hard for Christmas again.
Yeah.
Oh, they have to. Yeah.
And we've got Scarlet and Violet coming out on the 18th.
Ooh,
so
yes.
they're trying not to overwhelm everyone.
That's the other thing. So I wonder if it's sort of deliberate because they know that Gen 9 games are coming out. It's middle of November. You can't really compete. I know for a fact that a bunch of my friends will suddenly be like, right, we're playing Scarlet and Violet.
So Holly, which are you going?
I'm so undecided, but I think I might go Scarlet, actually. I like the Legendary better than Scarlet. What about you guys?
I don't actually have a Switch, so this might convince me to buy a Switch. This might convince me to buy one. I was thinking Violet looks pretty good.
Yeah, this is the game. You know, they're offering the brand new OLED Switch, which is the best version of the Switch. Now, there's like a Scarlet and Violet version of it that's out. So if you're getting a Switch, get that one, because the screen of the OLED Switch is way better than the old school Switches.
I would probably go for Violet.
I was thinking Violet, yeah.
Well, I'm going to go Scarlet.
Oh, and if Coops goes Scarlet as well, it's 2 versus 2. Ooh.
50-50
oh, my God, together all the time.
Why change everything?
Appreciate the greedy gluttons chat. And you know what, to all the listeners, I hope you are enjoying. And like I said, if you're not, take this time, as Holly did say, take this time to chill, relax, and just enjoy your actual life outside of the game. And then when Team Go-Rocket, you say, drops on Monday, Ian?
Monday the 14th, which we'll cover in the news.
It's the news.
Tonight's news is very, very simple, very, very short, because there's only one piece of news to talk about, and that is the Team Go-Rocket Takeover that will be running from Monday the 14th of November through to Thursday the 17th. So you've got 3 days to TM away frustration, guys.
That can be done.
You TM away every night, don't you, Milo?
Setting a challenge, I will complete it. The biggest point of this event is the return of, at long last, save Shadow Mewtwo.
How long has it been?
Too freaking long.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, it was like the end of 2020.
It's been ages.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just...
Kanto Tour 2021, February.
Oh, with the research. There is going to be a new special research story that will lead you to take down Giovanni and save Shadow Mewtwo, hopefully. And that special research will be available to claim until the end of the Season of Light on December the 1st at 10 a.m. your local time. So basically, you've got the month to complete it, practically.
Yeah, and hopefully you've been saving your rocket radars or your super rocket radars from all the dead mons that have been in the last few times.
Yeah.
Team Go-Rocket Grunts, as well as their leaders Sierra, Cliff and Arlo, are going to be using different Shadow Pokemon. So the new Shadow Pokemon we've got is Shadow Alolan Diglett, Shadow Onyx, Shadow Natu, Shadow Gollet, and for our friends on the Whale Laws podcast, Shadow Wailmer.
Nice.
We know what Richard Rolls you're going to be doing with that, don't we? But yeah.
Yes.
I want to see their thumbnail change with the Shadow Aurora around the Whale Lord they've got. I want to see that updated.
Event bonuses. You are going to have Team Go-Rocket will be appearing more frequently at Pokestops and in balloons. Maybe the balloons every 3 hours. We're not really too sure, but it's kind of what it normally is. And you can, of course, don't have to say this because Ian's already said it, but you can, of course, use a charged TM to help a Shadow Pokemon forget the charged attack frustration. Anything that you've got, you really need to use this opportunity over those 3 days to get away frustration because it is terrible. And like I said, you know, getting your Shadow Swamperts or Shadow Venusaurs with Frenzy Plant or whatever for Go Battle League. And of course, for the eggs, following Pokemon will hatch from 12-kilometer eggs, which is obviously the ones which you are going to get from the team leaders. And up first, and all of these can be shiny, you've got Larvitar,
Absol,
Skaroopy,
Pawniard,
Vullaby,
and Dino.
And
obviously
that again.
Okay, thank you. And obviously the ones that cannot be shiny, RIP, is going to be our boy Sandile,
Scraggy,
Pancham,
Skrelp,
and Salandit.
GG's.
Woo, shiny Pawniard. It's a good shiny, actually, to be fair.
It is a good shiny. And so is Bisharp. They're both blue.
Yeah, aesthetically pleasing.
And the chances of you hatching it in that pool are going
that's
to be
a big.
It's going to be. Oh, man.
But of course, there will be field research.
Failed
research. You can understand the slip of the tongue. But of course, there will be field research.
I hate that.
Which will award you mysterious components, which was almost the name of this podcast at one time of the day.
What was it? The last one that was updated was shiny Vullaby, if I seem to remember. And then Vullaby's still quite common out of 12k. So fingers crossed Pawniard still appears as frequently as it does out
seriously,
of 12k.
everything I hatch from a 12k is a Pawniard at the moment.
It's like every other hatch is Pawniard. But as we know, with any sort of Team Rocket themed event, there are a new cycle of Shadow Shinies. And we've had the Kanto starter Shadow Shiny for what feels like an eternity, to be honest. It's been a long time.
A very long time.
We don't know, obviously, until good old APAC report, maybe Chibati Island report it in. What do we think we could see as a Shadow Shiny? What would you like to see, perhaps?
That's a better question, Milo. That's a better question. What would we like to see?
Something reasonable. I really hope, because we're going to lead into December, Christmas, new season, I'd love to see Shadow Shiny Swinub.
Ooh, yeah. That'd be good. Super meta relevant.
Oh, yes. And that was do you remember, like, ages and ages ago, there was a mess up when the Shadow Shiny switched over for like a few hours, and there was Swinub, Snubble, and something else that dropped by accident out of normal grunts.
Oh, they did. They changed it fairly quickly as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
I want Shadow Shiny Ralts.
Yes.
That'd be so good.
That's nice.
Because Gardevoir and Gallade are both great in Great League.
They'll look good with the pale blue and the purple aura, won't they, as well? That'll be a nice colour combo.
And if you've got a good IV one, incredible for Guzzlord, Shadow Gardevoir.
Exactly.
Just wanted to add my trainer club knowledge in there, boys. You get me? You know what I'm saying?
Proud of you.
know what I'm saying?
I'm proud of you, man.
Proud of you, Coops. We haven't had any of the shiny Shadow Nidoran, have we? Female or males yet, have we?
We had the female one, actually, I
But
think.
not the male one, was it?
Ages ago. Yeah, not the male one. The female one's been in.
I think that's because Nidoqueen is more relevant for Great League, right?
Oh,
It
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
PvP.
Okay, we'll scrap that. Shiny Shadow Abra.
Shiny Shadow Sableye.
Oh,
I
nice.
really want
That'd be
that
nice.
for PvP. See, everybody would get. Everybody would definitely be trying to get that.
I'd love that. I would chase that thing to the ends of the earth.
See, Niantic, are you listening?
They're definitely not, no.
We believe
For my vote, it's a little earlier. We're about a month early, but Shadow Shiny, Delibird, Coops would love that.
That'd be a good one.
But it's not going to happen. It's too early in the year.
You never know for Christmas, bro. You never know. Obviously, I know they keep them in for like 5 months, but it could get new Shadow Shinies for Christmas. Who knows? But something that I do know, and I hate that I know, it's time for not another fucking.
It's my game. It's my game. It's been a while, hasn't it, since doing the flex game? I can't remember who won last time, so we're just going to take a clean slate on this one. Take a clean slate.
Of course he does that. Oh, I don't know who won.
I don't know who won,
He's
yeah.
his record on the wall. Yeah.
The thing is, we genuinely don't, because it could have been one of you picking some random category. But I'm going to be the host. I shall abstain from this whole thing. It is between you four. So I want you to head to the Kanto decks. And Holly, this is a little nod to you. I want to see how many Flareon you've encountered.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'll jump in first. I have seen 134 Flareon.
I'll go second, and I am straight out with 57.
I've seen 127.
Okay, so Coops, can you beat Coopsy, Holly?
I've got 196.
Hey, there's a
There we
point
go.
for Holly. Nice. So, as another little nod to the beginning of Holly's content creation, how many Tyranitar have you seen in your Pokédex?
I thought you were going to say how many people are you subscribed to on OnlyFans. That's why I thought you were going. Oh my god. Cool, I'll jump in again first. So this is not good. I'm going to lose this one. I've seen 57.
I'm actually going to lose this one. I've seen 32.
Well, I'm definitely going to lose this one because I've seen 27.
Masterful 27.
Wow.
You don't want to change that number, do you?
Not now.
Look at this.
What's Holly saying?
73.
73. That's a clean sweep for Holly there.
See, that's all those Tyranitar raids in the beginning.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
GG's, Holly.
You won the flex game.
Let's go.
There's no point doing the third round, is it? Because
I know, but I just actually want to ask this. Okay, so go to your medals. We talked about the current event. How many Tiny Rattata have you seen?
Oh.
The youngster medal.
So I'll jump in first. Again, I've seen 2,141.
Tiny Rattata, yeah?
Yeah.
Wait, seen or
No,
caught?
I'm only joking. I've only seen
I'm going to
three.
say,
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
are you looking at the Pokédex?
that's
Bro?
why we didn't react to him.
Can you make a YouTube short out of all your faces? No, I've seen 358.
358.
I actually haven't lost one round. I've seen 373.
Oh my god. I've seen 370.
Oh, so close.
Oh.
Okay. 400.
Nice.
Sweet.
Right on the dot.
GG's.
There we go. That's 3 points. Ding, ding, ding. Holly, the winner of the flex game.
Thank you.
Well
Now you
deserved.
need,
Well
now you need to
deserved.
sing the jingle.
Yeah, now you've won. Can you sing for us? Flex it up, flex it up.
Flex it up. Flex it up.
That was a fantastic game. Sorry to point this out, Holly, behind your Snorlax, I can see something just peeking out behind its head. Is that?
Is that Mark's home?
So we had a detailed, lengthy conversation about the Greedy Gluttons event, and I thought it was a great opportunity.
Say a lengthy poll.
I thought I knew you were going to say that, Milo. Oh,
Sorry.
So predictable
Goes
now
for the
after
territory,
92
mate.
weeks.
Goes for the territory. But I want to ask a quick question, and it was simply, are you enjoying the Greedy Gluttons event? We had some comments. I like to read these out 'cause these are probably more entertaining. Mike Lucas, a friend of the show, says, it's absolutely trubbish. But Love that
Yes,
one, mate.
nicely
Very
done.
good. Chaz Browder says, this is the first time I'm not raiding. I hatched and raided for Noibat and Giratina, then to get hit again with another hatched locked shiny. I'm done with Go for a bit. I'll do the free stuff till I get paid again. Sorry for being offline, but prefer to buy a pint at the Mo.
Understandable.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Lucy Davis simply went, nope. I love that, Lucy, straight to the point. Captain Covert says, ooh, short poll. Okay, just chill out, mate. It's coming to winter time now. Jesus. Mark's stamina is getting weaker by the weeks. Hold on, mate.
Wow, he's after you tonight. Jeez.
Trying to rent a lot of action. Mrs. getting jelly. What is he on about here?
Why are you reading it out?
Just like this
You're trolling
poll,
yourself.
I was only interested for 10 minutes. Hashtag weak source. Hashtag where's the faith? Always comes back to Coops, doesn't it, at the end of it? Mike with a blue tick as well. Well done, Mike. You've spent $8 as well. Has put 8, not really into it. Kiwi Steve says, bring on the Rocket event Monday. Anyway, the result was 83% are not enjoying it, and bizarrely 17% loving it.
17% of people want Gulpin XL.
There we go. That's done.
Squelvet XL though for greeting.
Coops would be nodding
Come on,
and agreeing
Coops.
with you.
Coops, you should know that.
Where's your come on, Coops? Where's your PvP thing? Eh?
I don't have one. Is it Ultra League, Holly?
Great League.
Oh,
I
is
think.
it? Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not like a Greedent. Yeah, I don't have one. It's got Bullet Seed, is it?
It's got Bullet
Seed, yeah.
It's got some good
Body
moves,
Slam
actually.
and Crunch, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't have one. I don't actually have one. Maybe I should go and grind this event. God damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going now. Bye, guys.
See you later.
See ya.
So thank you very much, Masterful27, for showing us your poll. However, must say, a little bit disappointed that you didn't tell people to think about their vote choices.
Shut up, Ian.
Anyway, if you were in the States, hopefully you voted 2 days ago. But anyway, one thing that needs no voting is everyone's favourite section. It's time for Zoe to sing us into...
Shinies of the week.
Okay, shinies, like my favorite thing to talk about. First up, Michael Mordhorst. He tweeted out shiny Goldeen, shiny Trapinch, shiny Stantler, and a hundo Dunsparce while catching up on old episodes of Incensed podcast.
Oh, sweet.
That's great.
Honda Dunsparce.
Honestly, I'm jealous of the Dunsparce. Yeah, I don't have that one. Do you guys?
I haven't got that shiny.
You was a bit torn up about that, wasn't you, with Johto Tour?
Oh, mate. It's like, God, where is it? But Hondo's lit, so congrats.
I hope they give Dunsparce an evolution eventually.
Yes.
He deserves it.
He does
Needs an
deserve it.
evolution, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With Frenzy Plant.
Frenzy Club.
Next up, we've got Steven Merrington, and he says he got just listening to Coops butchering Pokemon names and completely undoing any credibility he had, and hatched these back to back whilst clearing my old eggs to prepare for a Munchlax. And he's got a shiny Noibat and a shiny Yamask.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
That's rare. People were hatching a ton of eggs during the Halloween event, and honestly, I think the odds were way more than 1 in 64. Like, it was rumored to be 1 in 64. I hatched more than like 70 eggs, didn't get it. Did you guys?
It took me way too many, like north of 200 to get Noibat.
Exactly.
I had a really bad experience with my eggs. I did hatch at least 4 or 5 batches, didn't get any shinies from it.
So
But then,
hatched at least 4 or 5.
no.
I thought that's where he was going.
No. Genuinely, this is when Giratina Origin out, so I've been a bang
All
out. And then anyway, what happened was obviously I've hatched a bunch, and then I've gone, let me quickly open some gifts before the events ended. Got my times confused. So when my last batch of 7 kilometers hatched, all of a sudden a load of Diglett appeared, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So by accident, I've obviously opened gifts for the eggs after the Halloween event ended. So terrible experience. I wasted 7 incubators on Alolan, Diglett, Rattata, and Sandshrew. But we move.
Idiots, yeah.
Okay. So next then we have Lewis Ben, and he says he had a very successful daily incense last night while on his way to the cinema with his partner. First, he got a shiny Diglett, nice. Then moments later, he finds a Galarian Moltres, and it gets a critical capture.
Oh, nice.
What? Jealous.
That's lucky.
That's awesome. Very, very lucky.
Holly, have you got a Galarian?
I haven't caught any Galarian birds yet.
No, me either.
That's rare. He's lucky with that critical capture.
Yeah,
for sure.
critical catch is like the only way to go.
And shiny Diglett, hey man, shiny is shiny, you know?
Yeah.
Blue nose.
Yeah.
It's
Little
cute.
blue nose.
Then we've got Knack VGK says, rolling into the final 5 minutes of Incense podcast, I caught a shiny Miltank. No big deal since it's boosted, you say? No? Super important because it means I don't have to do another. So, he doesn't want to do any more sets.
Oh, it's the battle.
Yeah.
Oh, relatable.
Cool. Yeah.
We don't like him. We're a GBL podcast. We don't like him.
Right, see you later.
Yeah. Shiny Miltank is so great, though. What an awesome shiny, that bright blue.
Beautiful blue titty cow, as we describe it. Oh, congratulations to everybody.
Yeah, well done,
Sending
everybody.
those through.
Definitely.
Fantastic. And thank you, Holly, for reading them out. We love it when we get the guests to read out what is our favourite section of the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was fun.
That's going to wrap it up for this week's show. Unfortunately, it's done and dusted. But before we go, 2 things. Holly, it's been an enormous pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for joining us. If for somehow people don't know where they can find you, this is your time to sort of say, here are the social links, where can you find me? Go for it.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for having me.
Cool, and
been a
that's
long
enough.
time.
Thank you, Holly.
No, seriously.
I do that to everyone. Sorry, I do that to everyone. Sorry.
No, I love it. I love that we can banter and play around. This is such a fun podcast, and I am a fan of you guys. So keep up the great work. This is just a lot of fun. It's good vibes, and that's what the Pokemon community is all about. My socials: I'm on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans, and TikTok. It's PKMNMasterHolly. I go by Pokemon MasterHolly, but so I abbreviated Pokemon to PKMN for short. But it's all the same on all my social medias. Although I think on TikTok it's Pokemon MasterHolly TikTok. But yeah, please check me out, and you can just check out my link tree. If you go to like my Twitter page, I have my link tree pinned at the top, and it has all the things linked on that one tree.
Linktree is a wonderful thing. We will, of course, have everything actually in the episode description, so
Thank you.
You can check it out there. But the next thing, we're going to have to try and get another verbal contract. Would you like to come back on in the future?
Oh yeah, let's do it. Lock it in.
Hell yeah.
We'll get you on an episode, and then we'll do an OnlyFans collab.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Let's go. We should do it in the hot tub. Let's go.
Yes.
That sounds like a plan.
Verbal contract.
Coops, move your hot tub.
Or we could just rent one in Texas. It's
you
probably
go.
bigger there anyway.
Yes.
It's Texas after all, but
5% bigger in by any chance, yeah.
5%.
Nice.
I like that. I like
nice
that
callback.
a lot. That's fantastic. Oh, speaking of things 5% bigger, you could definitely leave us a 5-star review if you're enjoying the podcast. That would be splendid if you could. And obviously you could hit the little +/follow button to make sure that you don't miss a fresh episode when they do drop indeed.
Because Coops is still upset that we're at 4.9.
We're still at 4.9,
I know,
aren't we?
right?
On Apple and
to all my
Spotify, apparently.
Yeah, to all my Spotify people out
What the
there.
fuck are you
Come
doing?
on. No. Well, kind of, but 5-star all the way. We're nearly at 200 ratings on Spotify. So if you are here and you are one of Holly's fans, please give us a little 5-star on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast application that you listen to us on. That would be greatly appreciated.
100%. And you could obviously follow us on our socials at Incensed Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and we gave
now
up on
verified.
TikTok.
We've got the
We're now
tick.
verified,
Yeah.
yes, if you want to mention it again, Ian.
Hey, we're getting the most out of this $8.
You see it for the rest of this month. We're mentioning it over and over again. But we can't finish an episode of this podcast without saying a big thank you to everybody on the Patreon, bronze and silver tier peeps. Thank you very much indeed. And a special thanks to the gold tier folk who've taken their support up to the top level, who are HermesNinja, TishSmith, JB, CliffordMert, DerbyRuss, Kerry and Zachary, Connolly, Dom the Ragnarok, and Kimber. Without all of your extra support, we couldn't make this podcast sound as smooth as it does. We polish this thing so it shines brightly in the podcast space. That was really wishy-washy, sanctimonious cringe, yes. Anyway,
That was nice.
moving on to a poignant question. We've got to actually ask this. Did anybody get anything tonight on the game? Well, did we load the game? We don't really ask anymore, do we?
Yeah. Listeners, everybody's shaking their head.
Yeah, it's a resounding no.
Milo, come on, bombshell. Let's wrap it up.
No, it's fine. It sets me up perfectly because on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. And we will see you all for episode 93 next week. Do take care.